Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Listening Room. I am your host, Theron, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite bands, Hey Nothing. We're specifically going to be talking about two of their projects. I know it's against the rules, but it's my channel, so I make the rules here. But we're going to be talking about their full-length album, We're Starting to Look Like Each Other, which released in 2023. And we're going to be talking about their main EP, which released in 2024, actually in the summer, just recently. So who is Hey Nothing? Hey Nothing is a duo band from Athens, Georgia, consisting of Tyler Mabry and Harlow Phillips. Hey Nothing is an alternative, folk, indie, Midwest emo. They're tough to pin to a genre. They kind of jump around. They have nuances of all of those genres I just mentioned, but according to the internet, they are considered or classified as alternative indie. To kind of give you a picture of what I mean by that, think of Hey Nothing as if Kimya Dawson and Secondhand Serenade had a love child, and it's everything you ever asked for. Because that's exactly what they sound like. That folk indie version of Kimya Dawson with the over-the-top emo lyrics, and then Secondhand Serenade's just beautiful vocals and amazing acoustic riffs. So let's jump right into the first album by Hey Nothing that we're talking about today, which is We're Starting to Look Like Each Other. We're Starting to Look Like Each Other is a 10-track album that captures just how stupid, messy, ugly, and beautiful being a young adult is. It has concepts of love, heartbreak, addiction, depression, chaos, wonder, just all of the things that make up being a young adult. Those years in between graduating high school and graduating college, where nobody knows what life is. None of us have life figured out, but we all act and think we do. And those years where it's just trying to really figure out how you fit into society, and everyone around you is doing the same thing, so everyone's just on edge and pissed off all the time. One of my favorite things about this album is that Tyler and Harlow take you down this road that you feel like you've already been down. Every song feels familiar because they're writing about feelings we've all experienced as young adults. At least 10 times during this album, you'll have a "that's so me" moment where you sit there and go, oh yeah, I've been there before.
I know I'm smiling right now, but the light inside me is dying.
I've said that before. I've done this before. Is this song about me? You'll start to question whether or not they actually know you or not, because it feels like they do. And it's truly just because they are really capturing what all of us have gone through. And it's just another good example of how, we're all human and we all have the same shared experiences, basically. And it's just good to hear it in that musical style and just to feel like you're not alone in the universe, So because we're talking about two different albums, I'm going to talk about both of them first, and then later in the video, we'll jump into my top three. So let's talk about the main EP, which was released this year in June. I think June 21st was the official release date. Date. The main EP was actually written and recorded in Harlow's grandmother's house, which I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure was her house is in New England, somewhere near the coast, because a lot of the shots that they use for the live versions or the live recordings of the songs from this EP look like it's on the coast of like Maine or Massachusetts, somewhere up there on the coast. Main EP is a 4-song EP that is just... it's beautiful. What can I say? I think with every song that they release, they get better. And they've actually said this in a few interviews that the more they write and the more they progress, they know they're getting better, which I guess is everyone, but it's just you can really tell when you listen to these two albums side by side that they've grown so much in just 1 year. Really, it's impressive and it's outstanding, and I love both of these albums so much. I can't speak higher about these. Really quickly, I just want to talk about one thing that I absolutely love about these kinds of duo bands or bands with two vocalists, and that's the fact that you get two very unique writing styles done over the same instrumentation. So on the album, you're listening to one band, but it feels like two bands, and it keeps you captivated the whole time because nothing's repetitive, nothing's dull, and nothing's mundane. You're getting Harlow's writing and you're getting Tyler's writing, and it comes together to form this beautiful piece of work. But you just get to feel their different emotions, where they're at in life, even though they're on the same album, same band, they're friends, they hang out together. You get to see that they're two very separate people, and I just think that's beautiful. All right, everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for my top three. Go ahead and throw that podium up there. So, again, it's my channel, I make the rules. So my top three today isn't going to be three from each one. Since the main EP is only 4 tracks, to pick 3 songs would just be criminal, because that would mean I'm just saying one isn't in the top when I could just put all of them up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a top 3 from both. So with that being said, number 3 on We're Starting to Look Like Each Other and the main EP, bronze place is going to go to Chamomile.
Wanna hurt your feelings, I just want you to know you should always think it through before you let me go.
Now, Chamomile is this very catchy song about somebody throwing you away. In the song, Tyler relates himself to chamomile by saying it's like his least favorite tea, so he just kind of throws it away. But it's really not that bad, and you should give it a shot. The song's basically about getting friend zoned. Again, every single one of us has been there, and if you haven't been there, you're probably the problem. Second place is going to 2 songs, because you, it's my channel. Second place, I couldn't decide between the 2, really, is all it came down to. I couldn't pick between these 2. I kept bouncing back and forth about which one was going to be my number 2. And I have a clear number 1, so I couldn't adjust to make one of them the number 1 spot, because I have a very clear number 1. So number 2 is going to Your Purple Eyes.
In another life, I'm sure we can make things better, or at least less worse.
And Flora.
Some of which are in your own, the others have you in a show.
So both of these songs, I have a feeling, are about the same person, but they're sung in 2 very different styles. Your Purple Eyes is more of this like slow, heartbreaking anthem, basically, of just not wanting to let go of the person you love, but knowing it's the best thing to do for you and them. Also, I'm pretty sure, and I can't take credit for this because my wife said this earlier, but I'm pretty sure Your Purple Eyes are referencing how her eyes are blue, but she's crying, so they're also red, so blue and red equals purple.
Blue and red equals purple, so I blew her back out when I left her on red. Don't let that go over your head.
So I have a feeling that's that's why it's called Your Purple Eyes, which, again, lyricism off the charts. Way to go, Tyler. Flora is this upbeat, fun song about just struggling in a relationship and just like begging the person to hold on to you, which I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely one of the more upbeat songs on the record, which is cool. Both of these and Chamomile came from We're Starting to Look Like Each Other. So very solid. I think they're both on the A side, first 5 songs or whatever. So they're a very solid start to that album. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, my gold medal, my number 1 Hey Nothing song. Timeline.
Couldn't find the words, you couldn't find the right time. I wanna be part of your timeline.
Timeline is ethereal, is the best way to put it. Timeline is a song about wanting somebody, but it's not. You just know it's not the right time. It's not in the cards for you. You guys are both in very different points of life. It's very much just a musical version of Right Person, Wrong Time, really. But knowing that you still want to try and make it work someday and somehow. So now let's get into the ratings. We're Starting to Look Like Each Other is going to go first. And I'm going to go ahead and give this album a solid 7.6 out of 10. It would have made an 8. There's a few songs on the album that kind of fall short for me. I'm not going to say which ones they are because we don't do bashing on this channel. We only lift people up. But We're Starting to Look Like Each Other did have a few misses in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a 7.6 out of 10 because the strong points of the album are so strong that it makes it that much better. So again, 7.6 out of 10. If you didn't hear me the first 12 times I said it, that's the rating for We Are Starting to Look Like Each Other. So now let's talk about the rating for Maine, the EP that dropped this year. I'm going to give Maine an 8.8 out of 10. We're almost to a 9. We're almost to a 9. The only thing that's setting this back for me, which is kind of unfair for me to judge because it is recorded. I'm pretty sure all of these tracks are recorded live in one take. So it's kind of unfair, but it is the mixing and the mastering for me because you can hear the echoes they're very clearly in like just a room in a house and you can hear like the echoes, you can kind of hear creaks of chairs. And I know I should be here preaching like, oh, it's beautiful because it's raw and there's more emotion and they're really feeling it, but I just when you're listening to it in like the car or something, a lot of the songs from We're Starting to Look Like Each Other just kind of outshine the production of the main EP. However, the writing, the lyrics, and the earworm ability of the songs on main EP are top tier. Timeline, if like again, you're gonna have to just go and listen to both of these, but Timeline is the most catchy song I've heard in a long time. It is just so good, and Tyler and Harlow both sound amazing on this song, and they sound amazing on all the songs, but that's the only reason it's not a 9 or higher is because of the production. So that has been my review and rating of We're Starting to Look Like Each Other and the main EP by Hey Nothing. Thank you for tuning into the listening room. I'm your host Theron. I'll see you in the next video.